Hey guys, Charles from Halt's Boots here, and today we're doing an unboxing and first look at the new Adidas Crazyfast.1. Alright guys, so we're gonna go right into unboxing the new Crazyfast.1s. And I was lucky enough to get them before the public release, but this is a true first look at the new model coming up. Go ahead and get the second one out here. So this kind of review is just going to be kind of tech specs and kind of what I'm noticing between the new Crazyfast, and then I have a pair of speed portals here that we're going to use to compare a couple things. And mostly I just kind of want to give everybody a first look like I usually do, and then also kind of just go over everything and check out the changes, see if there's anything that's actually good in terms of like progressing forward, or if we're kind of like regressing, if that makes sense. But just from looking at these and kind of feeling them, I think these are already going to be a lot better than the speed portal was. So in terms of the price point for these, I believe it's going to be $225 or $230. It could be all the way up to $250. However, I'm just not entirely sure, as I haven't seen any hidden links like websites usually have that'll say the prices for everything. So I'm assuming it's just in the normal Adidas X price range that we've seen the last few years. So I think what they're doing now is they're gonna be 3 models from what I've heard. So we're gonna have the 0.1, just like we had with the Speed Portal, the Plus model like we had with the Speed Portal, and then the new like 99 gram ones, if you wanna call them that, or how the Crazy Light Plus was. I've already seen this colorway for the, like how the Crazy Light was, that style just being super lightweight. So I'm not sure if we're going to continuously get that like ultra light version. So we'll have the 0.1, the Plus, and the ultra light. I could be wrong just because there's just no information out about this yet, but I have seen this color in the ultra light as well. So I believe that's what they're gonna do moving forward. If they do that, it's gonna be interesting because we've really only seen brands do 2 top models, and at least Adidas. I wanna say just Adidas has done 2 different top models. So now they're going to 3, which I don't really know if that makes a difference or not. But in the sole plate, we've got the same speed frame sole plate, which is now called the Aero plate, at least for the Crazy Light Plus. And there's no difference here whatsoever that I can see. Literally, I mean, it might be a little bit harder to see this because it's like a light green on a white, on like a white plastic like insert here, but it's the same thing. Studs are the same shape. Still says speed frame. This is just a right and left, so they're on opposite sides. So again, same sole plate there. I also was not one who really cared for the Carbotex insert. Not that it was bad, but it just didn't make a difference to me. So no Carbotex insert there, which these boots, let me actually pull out the stuff real quick. Oh yeah, these still got a pretty rigid snapback there, so that's good to know as well. Moving on to the upper, it feels very similar, at least this part does, to the Crazy Light Plus, and you can actually really see pretty well here. You've got like a more raw type of upper here, where it feels not quite like sandpaper, but it's a little rougher, and there's no micro texturing like there was on the Speed Portal. So for the Speed Portal, we had all these like rubber elements on the instep, and then a few like on the outsole here. We don't have any of that on this boot, just like the Crazy Light Plus. It's not the same material from what I can see. It's not the same texturing, but it still kind of has that rougher feeling, and then it honestly gets pretty smooth and feels finished. You can really see the glare there. And I think it kind of reminds me of the AG boots that Nike and Adidas have done, where they'll just reinforce that area with some just extra coating and stuff. So I don't know if that was their goal, but we didn't have anything like that on the Speed Portal. Like there's no real thing like that, but I also didn't have any real durability issues with the Speed Portal either. So why they did that, I don't really know. I don't think they really needed to do that, but or at least for this boot, but it will help. And I think this boot is lighter. I don't have a scale with me or in here yet where I reviewed the boots, so I've got to get one, but it definitely feels a little bit lighter. Not by much, but so that could just be part of the design as well, that they went with a lighter upper, and so that's why they reinforced the edges there. And initially I thought they raised this knit upper here, but if they did, it's very slightly. I don't know if I can get a really good comparison here. So that's like that's kind of the comparison, if you can tell. And maybe they did raise it a little bit. I don't think it's anything super serious, and it looks like we have the same texturing that the Copa Pure had. And actually I'm gonna go grab my pair real quick. Okay, so maybe I lied, not the same texturing, but sort of like a similar design. So you can see that that's got the real inset there, and then you've kind of got the same shape there for at least the Copa Pure. And I've seen the Copa Pure in this like green and white colorway, and it kind of looked like they made a few changes. I'm not entirely sure yet, as I haven't seen like a pair in hand. I've just seen photos of a few pros wearing them on some like Instagram pages and stuff. So we'll see if that changes, but you know, you do have a little bit design there, and there's actually a lot more knit to this upper. So it goes pretty close to the eyelets there. So you can see this is all knit up until like this point right here. It's really hard to see the white on white, but there's like this, so it's like this runs all the way down here, and then this is all knit. So a bit more knit than the Speed Portal had. It's a little bit tighter, and the V in this one's a little bit wider. So again, that doesn't really matter too much, but you know, just some stuff I noticed for this boot. Also, it appears that we have the same internal frame as the Crazylight, so that's what makes me think that this is still a different material, but it's more lightweight than the Speed Portal, and it's a lot thinner. Even though the Speed Portal does have a pretty thin, like plasticky upper, this feels just slightly, it feels about the same actually in terms of plasticky, but it definitely feels even thinner. And I mean, you can see through the boot there, like that Speed frame. I forget off the top of my head what it's called. I think it's like the Aero Cage, I want to say. And it also has it, you can see actually pretty well there, and you can see my like hands through the thin upper there, but it's got the same exact internal cage, so that's kind of cool. And I think they're really just going to be, at least for this model, just as light as they can possibly go. So I don't know why they didn't just call this entire line the Crazylight, but you know, it is what it is. So we still have a thicker heel padding in here, so it's thicker than the Crazylight Plus was, and obviously there's gonna be less padding to cut down on weight for the Crazylight, but you can see here that I don't know exactly what to call this shape, but you have the padding here and the padding here, and then there's like an extra like third piece here, so it's almost like I don't know, like a square U shape, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to explain that properly, but, and I'll show you the difference here, because the Speed Portal actually, I don't know how well you can see it because this is really a dark color, but it goes into a V, so it has like a V and there's no like piece in the back of the heel, whereas this like it kind of tapers off and kind of flattens out a bit on the heel there. So I don't know if that will make much of a difference. I didn't appreciate all the padding that was in the Speed Portal, so hopefully this padding, adding this little extra piece here, will make it slightly more comfortable, but you know, I'm not entirely sure what's gonna happen with that. And then just a few more minor details. We've gone back to a double Adidas stripe on both sides. I don't know off the top of my head because I can't see all of my boots in front of me at the moment, but I don't think we've had double Adi stripes, so that's kind of cool, just a little detail there. They finally got rid of that annoying like double Adidas mark, like a double Adidas logo here, so it's hard to see on the sole plate, but there's an Adidas logo right there where my thumb is, and then they would put one right above it. So a good example of that is right here, so they'd have the Adi logo there and then the double one there. So I guess that was on the inside of this boot, but it's no longer on the inside of the boot, it's just there. And then you've got the Crazyfast logo as well. So, you know, they've made some changes. I'm more excited for this. It seems like this is a closer material to the upper of the Crazylight Plus. And I mean, I guess that makes sense because they're kind of the same silo, but I really just did not appreciate this kind of material on the Speed Portals. The Speed Portals really hurt my feet, and I think I gave them like a 6.5 or maybe even a 6 out of 10 rating, whereas I believe I gave well, I'm not gonna say what I gave the Crazylight Pluses yet, because the on-feet review's not out, but yeah, so I'm really excited for this boot. Oh, and actually I wanted to show you guys the insole as well. It still looks like the same exact insole that the Speed Flow and Speed Portal have. Let me pull this one out of the Speed Portal real quick. So yeah, so it doesn't look like there's any real changes. Seems like there's still pretty much the same amount of holes. They're still printing the same insoles there. Feels exactly the same material, same on the bottom. So, you know, just another little detail there, but they're not changing these insoles. And you know, there's nothing really wrong with the insole. I didn't find it uncomfortable at all. So, I mean, other than I guess the detailing has changed, but you know, they're not bad insoles. They're just like, you know, the basic standard insoles you'll get. So overall for the Crazyfast, we've seen a lot of minor tweaks, nothing that's super crazy. You know, the sole plate stayed the same. I would argue the shape is very similar. We've gotten rid of the micro texturing, a new kind of upper, a bit more material up here. So just a lot of minor things that overall I think will add up and make this better than the Speed Portal was. It just ended up not fitting my feet, at least the Speed Portal, not these. The Speed Portal just didn't fit my feet well, and I'm hoping that this material will expand and kind of mold a bit better to wider feet, which has always been my issue. But you know, for the most part, I'm just excited to try these. I definitely think that Adi is going in the right direction. I'm curious to see what the pluses will look like. I'm assuming they're gonna be very similar, but I just haven't seen those yet. And like I said, I have seen the ultralight version of these, at least just a couple like leaked photos. So maybe I'll get another pair of those and just see if they're the same thing as the Crazyfast, or you know, if they're more like the crazy lights, if they're more like the Crazy Light pluses, or if they're more like the point ones. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I just wanted to get this video out so everyone can see what they look like and kind of what to expect, because I want to say they're going to be for sale sometime this week, and this is going to be the week of like June 26th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, I want to say, or 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th. So that's about when I think these are going to release, sometime in there. I don't know the exact date, but you know, overall, just a good first look for you guys. So that's all I have for today. Drop your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next review.